There's a lot of bear wackiness in this movie again. I'm SirDinosaur from Planet X, and now it's time for a movie review. So we start with a kind of surprising flashback scene about Paddington's mama bear and Papa Bear saved Paddington from a river and adopted him. Seems the two bears had thought about going to London, perhaps to visit their explorer friend Montgomery Clyde, but they decided to stay in Peru and raise Paddington. Seems like they did a good thing, so I guess his parents are actually his aunt and uncle. Now we see how the family is doing. Paddington is well adjusted to the human world, Jonathan and Judy are getting along, and looks like everything is pretty good, but it's not perfect. Judy broke up with her boyfriend, Henry got passed over for a promotion, and Mary is, I think, feeling a bit unfulfilled. But for the most part, things are good at home. For now. Paddington wants to buy a pop-up book of London to send to Aunt Lucy since she's never been there, and he has nice daydreams about that bringing them closer together. However, the book in Samuel Gruber's antique shop is pretty expensive, so Paddington decides to get a job in order to pay for it. Trouble is, Paddington is known for being a bumbling bear who gets into trouble and makes wacky stuff happen on accident. So of course Paddington's first job is at a barbershop. Right away I'm thinking, uh-oh, I don't trust Paddington around blades and razors. Sure enough, Paddington causes a wacky accident right away and shaves part of a man's head completely bald, so he gets fired immediately. Whoops. Paddington and the Brown family go to the fair at night, and an actor named Phoenix Buchanan invites Paddington up on stage to help with the opening ceremony of the fair. Paddington accidentally embarrasses Phoenix in front of the crowd though. Paddington keeps getting into messes and wacky accidents, but he has a lot more luck holding down a job as a window cleaner. Until one night, Paddington sees a man breaking into the antique shop. Paddington chases after the thief who has stolen the pop-up book that Paddington was saving up money to buy. But the thief uses a puff of smoke to get away, and Paddington gets arrested by the cops because they think he's the thief. Oh no! The Browns don't believe it, but Mr. Curry does, and afterwards we see that the thief was Phoenix Buchanan in disguise. Paddington is put on trial for burglary, and Phoenix Buchanan lies while on the stand so he can get Paddington framed for the crime. Phoenix lies and says that he was an eyewitness at the scene and that Paddington is just making up a non-existent human thief to cover for himself. So Paddington is found guilty and they put him in jail with a 10-year sentence. Oh my goodness! The Browns are upset, so Mary puts up pictures of Phoenix's thief disguise all over the city. Meanwhile, Phoenix uses the pop-up book to look around and try to find a hidden treasure. In jail, Paddington makes the mistake of putting a red sock in the washer with all the prisoners' jumpsuits, which turns them from black and white striped to pink and gray striped. Whoops. Paddington goes to talk with the chef named Knuckles about the food and accidentally makes him pretty mad, but then he unwittingly gives Knuckles a bite of his marmalade sandwich, and Knuckles says, okay, you can work for me as long as you keep making those marmalade sandwiches. Mary and Samuel look around in the antique shop trying to figure out how the thief went about his crime. The Browns go to the fair and talk to a lady who tells them the story about how the pop-up book supposedly leads to treasure. Paddington makes friends in jail by making marmalade sandwiches and basically encouraging the other inmates to ask for what they want for food in order to have a less miserable jail experience. The Browns visit Paddington and show him that they've been putting together evidence about Phoenix's treasure hunting shenanigans. They're off track right now though, because they think it's a gang. Paddington introduces all his prison buddies to the Browns, and the prison buddies say, nah, they don't recognize any of the criminals in the pictures that the Browns show. Back in the neighborhood, Phoenix gets wind of the Browns' investigation and he invites Mary up to talk with him, making her suspicious. After some back and forth, Henry and Mary break into Phoenix's house and find his attic with all the disguises. They get caught by Phoenix, so they make up a baloney story about being home inspectors, but I think Phoenix is onto them. Given all that's going on, the Browns miss their appointment to visit Paddington, so he thinks they abandoned him. Paddington stages a prison break with Knuckles and two other prisoner guys, and he thought they'd help prove his innocence, but they just want to get a small plane and flee the country. So Paddington leaves them and contacts the Brown family. The Browns tell him how they figured out that Phoenix is the thief who got him in trouble. They all go to Paddington Station and find that Phoenix has boarded a carnival train that has a treasure on it. Unlike Phoenix, Paddington doesn't care about the treasure. He just wants the pop-up book for his aunt, so he takes it back and Phoenix chases him. But Phoenix falls into a different train car and threatens Henry, Mrs. Bird, and Judy. Phoenix ties them up, and Paddington tries to get to Mary and Jonathan, who are on a train on the opposite track. Phoenix snatches him back though and puts him on a runaway train car. Oh no! Phoenix is stopped when Henry throws a ball at his head and it knocks him out cold. Paddington's train car falls in the water. It's not looking good, but a plane shows up and it's his prison buddies. They came back for him. They all bring Paddington to the surface and bring him home, and he gets sick for a bit. When he gets back, the Browns tell Paddington that he's been asleep for 3 days. Phoenix has been arrested, And the government said, oops, sorry, yeah, Paddington is not a burglar and should never have been put in jail. Paddington is upset since it's Aunt Lucy's birthday and he wasn't able to get her a present in time, but the Browns have a surprise for him. Paddington is brought downstairs to his friends from the neighborhood. They're happy that he's awake, and as a favor to him, they teamed up and brought Aunt Lucy to England to visit him. So Paddington goes outside, sees Aunt Lucy, gives her a hug, and wishes her a happy birthday. It's a beautiful ending. This is another nice Paddington movie about a family, the bear who lives with them, and all their friends sticking together through tough circumstances and being cheerful and friendly while they do it. This is a fun, whimsical, and emotional movie that is good for kids.